Guys, do you know that in Ghana alone, with just about 32 million people, we consume more than over 500,000 tons of meat every year? Have you put money to this quantity? Every day you go to the market and you buy a kilo of meat, whether it being pork, whether it being beef, whether it being chicken, and you buy it. So write in the comment below, how much do you buy a kilo of chicken in your neighborhood? How much do you buy a kilo of beef in your neighborhood? How much do you buy a kilo of goat meat in your neighborhood? Now take that price and multiply that even by 500,000 tons and ask yourself, where is that money going? That money is going outside the country, because more than half of these tons are imported meat that is coming from Europe, from Brazil, from Asia, and we're consuming. The remaining, even less than half, maybe 30%, the animal themselves are also not coming from Ghana. I would say even maybe 10% of that 30% are livestock that are actually bred inside Ghana. All the rest are coming from Burkina, Mali, and our neighboring countries. And this is a big problem. And I don't think we have sat down and done the comparison and the analysis. Because why? Farming already is, what's the right word to use? It's seen as, we all know what farming is. The reason why we all went to school and we didn't follow our parents and become a farmer. But we all eat every day. We are buying meat and consuming things we don't understand, things we don't even know. And then why are we leaving such an opportunity on tap and leaving our communities, leaving our fertile lands and going into the cities to hustle, to sleep at dangerous areas, or to be stuck in jobs that we hate, jobs that we know is never going to change our life? And why are we even leaving the country, abandoning all these things, right? And I'm talking about this because I was just driving by, right? And I saw this cattle farm, and I'm going to step down and show you guys what I'm seeing. But the question here is, there is the demand. You all know, because you go to the market, your wives, whether you go or your wife goes, comes back and they talk to you about how expensive meat is and how expensive things are, right? But today I'm going to focus on meat. Why meat? Because the amount of meat we import into this country and what we produce in here doesn't make sense, and the demand for it. I always use goat as an example. I always use my community, that my community kills about 12 goats every single day. But there's no farmer in Ghana that can give me one goat every single day. Let that sink in again. And to me, that's a demand that we are not tapping into it. And why are we not tapping into it? We are not tapping into it because it all starts with the perception. It starts with the mentality of the fact that I grew up and was raised by a farmer. But that farmer didn't see the opportunity for me to become a farmer. So what did he do? That farmer took me to school and made sure I get a better education and make sure I traveled outside the country so that I can get a white-collar job and do. So my mindset from day old, and my mom and my dad, is that farming is not good and it's for the poor. And they don't want their beloved son to become poor. So that's why I was taken into school. Most of you, that's the same thing, right? Some of you are lucky to end up in an agricultural school. Kudos to you guys, and don't give up. But the mindset, right, is that farming is poor, is dirty, and therefore we don't associate ourselves with it. And today, as I'm driving and I was thinking about it, I'm going to turn my camera and show you guys what I'm seeing. So I'm in the community, right, and then I came across these cattle, right? This is a head of cattle in somebody's house taking care of them. And then I asked myself, if somebody thinks about going into livestock farming, let's not even go into livestock farming. When somebody even think about going into farming, what is the first thing that comes to their mind? Dirty, poverty, ragged clothes, and so on. Before they even make the attempt to think about livestock farming, this is what comes to their mind. This is what they see. Cattle sleeping in their dung, dirty, making the place smell, causing flies. These are the things that is in our head, and therefore, how are we going to be able to make this attractive for the young growing man, for the young lady who wants to go into agriculture, livestock farming, to be able to want to do this? So this have been limited to just a group of people who have accepted this as their way of life and not as money. And that's a problem. You understand? This is the reason why farming in Africa is fighting so much to change the narrative. Mommy, morning. Ukunuai. Kachen friend mommy. I'm calling the Fulani man who takes care of this because I know him. But right, how do we change this perception? I know a few farmers out there, you're trying to do your best and jumping on TikTok and so on, livestock farmers, and you're doing great. I want to encourage you to keep it up, because we need to change this kind of environment. We need to make, these animal and livestock farming in general attractive and appetizing for the youth and for people who have money to invest into it. We can't do it like this. This is not the way to go, right? But this is money. You look at these cows here, they will sell this cow to you for 10,000. They will sell that cow to you for 12,000. You combine all of these cows, you're looking at about 100,000. That's $10,000. So if you even invest $1,000 to put in a proper structure, better feeding lot for these cows here, then we are going somewhere, right? So this is the picture that we are fighting so much as farming in Africa to change the perception and narrative of people. Hey, I to say. Now you own him Samashia. See the guy just saw me and said Samashia. What called it? And then I say, oh yeah. Good. Now Omuani. Say now who be
Rasta boom.
Be Rasta boom. Okay. Bokodia. Okay. Me come home and me see me for hachi. Yeah. So yeah, I just met the guy who takes care of them, and the moment he saw me, he said, "Semenshia, hey," and he started speaking to the wife. I don't know what he said, but he said something about me being a farmer as well. But we got to change the narrative, guys. So if you're going into cattle farming or you're a cattle farmer, do better. That's all what I'm telling you, man. Start with the land. Get yourself a good land, plant your own feed, build a better structure so that you can also inspire somebody to go into this kind of farming, right? We can do things anyhow and expect to see change and expect more people to join us and expect to solve the problem of feeding ourselves as a continent, right? And that's why I'm doing this random video to share with you guys. I hope it inspires you, and I hope you're gonna do better if you want to go into cattle farming. And those of you that are doing it and doing it the right way, kudos to you. You are the future of Ghana's livestock industry.